What's up, guys? Big Papa Drock back with another Raid Shadow Legends video and back with an incredibly exciting announcement video, guys, or I should say collaboration video, because Raid is bringing Alien and Predator to the game. Yes, you heard this correctly, guys. Alien and Predator are coming to Raid Shadow Legends. I'm honestly just completely stoked. I can't believe it. I mean, I gotta hand it, just quick thing before we get into this and the cool things that are coming with this collab, but I just gotta hand it to Raid, man. Their collabs this year have been absolutely fire. From the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles now to Alien and Predator. I mean, they are crushing it in the collab department. This is such a sick collab. I actually really want to go see the Alien versus Predator Badlands movie that's out currently. So I plan on seeing that with my friends. And then lo and behold, we get this news that there's actually Alien and Predator coming to Raid. So we're going to take a look at the artwork. We're going to take a look at the skills of these champions. It looks absolutely incredible, but here's some of the artwork. I mean, look at the Xenomorph, just looking like a total beast. By the way, guys, let me know in the comments down below if this is a collab that you are as excited about as I am. I know it's kind of a different collab. It's not something that I personally expected from Plarium, but I think it's a fantastic one. So would love to know what you guys think as well. And look at the key art. Key art looks phenomenal. We got Predator. We got the Xenomorph. These are the actual in-game models that they're using. I mean, this looks so sick. This looks incredibly sick. Man, if I get to return to streaming, I'm definitely going to have to do a Xenomorph stream. That I think would be incredibly fun. You got to let me know if you'd want to see that too whenever I'm back to streaming, once I'm fully back to 100% health. But let's take a look at what these actual champions do. So we got the Xenomorph, which is in Dark Elves. That's great. Dark Elves really needs more good champions. Their legendary magic and their attack. And then we've got the Predator, who is in Lizardmen, and he is a legendary force HP based. So looks like one is off the 14-day loyalty program. So the Xenomorph is the one they're going to give you for free just for logging in. So that's the login champ. And then Predator is the one that you would have to buy from a pass, similar to He-Man. And generally speaking, those heroes are really, really, really good. You know, especially for what they cost relative to trying to pull shards. So I'm curious to look at his kit and see exactly what it looks like. But it says the champions will be available to only acquire during the event activation. And once acquired, champions stay in the game permanently. So you only get one chance to get these bad boys. They're limited edition, super spicy, but you do get one for free, which is Xenomorph, just for logging in. And then I believe you can get the Xenomorph soul via the Xenomorph chase. So yeah, that's what it looks like here. It looks like they're giving away the 5-star soul for the Xenomorph, doing a Xenomorph chase. And then in fact, I can probably zoom this in a little bit more, see if we get a little bit better view here. Yeah, so we've got the Xenomorph here, and then we've got the Xenomorph chase over here as well. Dude, look at how sick that looks, guys. That looks so sick. Man, oh man, I am jazzed for this. All right, let's take a look at the skills though. So this is the Xenomorph skills. Really curious to see just how useful this champion will be. The login champs are sometimes hit or miss, as we all know. So I'm going to try to keep zooming this in. Hopefully you can read this easily on the screen. But let's take a look here. The A1 tail stab attacks one enemy, places a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns, places 3 5% poison debuffs if the attack is critical. That's a great A1 to get all that poison out. Makes me think they're going to be more PvE though. Also places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 2 turns. That's pretty cool off of an A1. Then Infestation, which is the A2, attacks one enemy. Before attacking, places a stun debuff and an infest debuff. That's a new debuff, the infest debuff, on the target for 2 turns. We get to infest people now. These debuffs cannot be resisted if this champion is under a perfect veil buff. Places a true fear debuff on all other enemies for 1 turn. This debuff cannot be resisted. This champion is under a perfect veil buff. So, okay, cool. If you can get him on perfect veil through Duchess or something like that, then you don't have to worry about accuracy. Also makes sense to have something like this put out true fear, right? Like this is something that you would, if you came across it in real life, you'd be absolutely terrified. So I like that. That makes sense from a just design perspective. And then it says revives this. This is a passive effect. Revives this champion with 50% HP and 50% turn meter whenever an enemy under an infest debuff dies. So anytime you infest someone, if somebody dies, you get revived if you're dead. So, all right, that's pretty cool. All right, interesting. Then we got the A3, Rip and Claw, attacks one enemy 2 times. Deals 15% more damage for each poison debuff on the target. Also places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 2 turns. Okay, cool. So we do get a perfect veil off the A3, the double hitter, and deals a lot more damage when you've got poison on the target. So, okay, interesting. Obviously, in arena, tough to get poison on people, especially with all the stone skin, but you could still hypothetically make this work. Then Caustic Blood, which is the passive. Whenever this champion is attacked, has a 25% chance to place a 5% poison debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if the attack is critical. Okay, interesting. If an enemy is under a poison debuff placed by this champion, decreases their defense by 20%. Oh, wow. That's a huge decrease of defense. And it looks like it books up to a 35, 50% chance to place a poison debuff. Now, the only thing is, if someone's getting critical hit, especially an attack-based champion, they're probably dying, right? Unless you have some type of amulet like a Last Laugh amulet or you're building them in Swift Parry. So that's an interesting thing with the kit here. So overall, the kit seems interesting. I don't know how good this will be for arena or for PvP. I could certainly see this being really good in PvE, especially if it's decreasing, the defense of the, enemies you're facing. Like there's definitely some potential use there for sure. And the fact that they throw out a lot of poison debuffs on their A1. The kit seems decent. It seems decent. It doesn't seem incredible, but this is also a champion that they're giving away. So usually, most of the time, that's kind of the case. Where the better kit is usually the one, of course, that you end up buying if you decide to buy that. All right, Xenomorph champion skills Infest debuff. Xenomorph skill set will introduce a whole new effect, Infest debuff. Whenever an enemy under Infest debuff dies, deals pure damage to all other alive enemies. This pure damage is equal to 50% of the enemy's max HP who died while under the Infest debuff. This pure damage cannot be critical. The pure damage dealt upon killing a boss or the minions cannot exceed more than 1% of their max HP. Okay, so that's what keeps it in line for PvE, because this would be absolutely insane if you were just doing crazy pure damage based on max HP. But okay, so this is really interesting. Pure damage to all other live, damage 50% of the enemy's max HP. So you get, if you kill a HP based champion, you could be doing massive amounts of damage to other people in the arena. And then even in like PvE, this could be useful, even though it's capped at 1%. I mean, that is a very low cap for every time you kill somebody. So this is interesting. Interesting debuff. Okay. All right. Now we got the Predator Champion Pass. Okay, let's take a look at this bad boy. What have we got here? All right, so it's like a normal champion pass. You get your basic levels where you complete the 25 levels, you get access to standard rewards. That doesn't include the champion. And then you have the one where you pay for the champion. Those usually cost like 40 or 50 bucks. I think 60 is what the most I've seen. If I remember the cost for He-Man, which look, is a lot of money to pay for a champion in a game, just straight up. But it's Raid Shadow Legends. And frankly, getting a champion for that amount of money, the exact champion you want, is in this game what would be considered a good value. So something to keep in mind. I will obviously be buying the champion and doing a showcase on them, but let's look at the kit. Oh, actually, let's quickly look. What are they giving away here? Oh my God, look at the freaking avatar. Holy smokes. That avatar looks sick. Damn, dude. I'm not stoked for that avatar. Is that sad? Probably, but I don't care. All right, let's take a look at the kit of the Predator. What have we got here? Let's make it nice and big. All right, Predator. Wrist Blades. Attacks one enemy, heals this champion by 30% of the damage dealt. Passive effect. Whenever this champion successfully evades an enemy skill and all of its accompanying effects, counter attacks with this skill. Okay, that already sounds really good, especially for an HP-based champion. Force Affinity, which is a great affinity for arena nowadays. Like that sounds potentially really good. And obviously there's an evade portion to their kit, so we'll have to figure out how that works. But counter attacking is big. Smart Disc, the A2, attacks all enemies 2 times. After hitting the initially selected enemy, all other enemies will be hit in a random order. For the first hit, the damage received by the initially selected enemy will be increased by 75%. Each subsequent hit following the initial hit will receive 15% less bonus damage, reduces to 15% bonus damage. Also destroy each enemy's max HP by 30% of the damage dealt, stacks up to 50%. Jesus Christ, that is complicated as hell. Oh my God. Random order hit, first hit, damage received by the initially selected enemy will increase by 75%, and then you reduce damage as you go along, is what it looks like. Yes, okay, so everyone does less. For the second hit, The damage received by the initially selected man will be increased by 15%. Each subsequent enemy hit following the initial hit will receive 15% more bonus damage. So your first hit does less bonus damage as it goes along, and then your second hit does more bonus damage as it goes along. Good Lord, this is super complicated, but it sounds like it could be really good. This attack ignores 15% of each target's defense if this champion is under a veil or perfect veil buff, and it books down to 3 on the cooldown. All right, I mean, look, super complicated. Destroying HP is really good. AoE is good. Double hitting AoE is great, especially for champions like Nice. So interesting. I'm curious to see how this works. Like, I got to see what the multipliers are. I got to see, like, very complicated with the bonus damage decreasing then increasing, but sounds good. Sounds potentially really good. Then we've got Combo Stick Throw. Attacks one enemy before attacking, places a Hunter's Gaze debuff for 1 turn. Okay, so this is, I think, the first champion in the game that can do a Hunter's Gaze beside the Chimera. Don't quote me on that. You can let me know in the comments if I've missed somebody, but, and I very well might have. They've introduced some champions recently that I haven't looked at. This debuff cannot be resisted if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil. So a lot of Perfect Veil in these kits. If this attack kills an enemy, places a Block Revive debuff on the target and a Hunter's Gaze debuff on a random alive enemy for 1 turn. The Hunter's Gaze cannot be resisted if they're under Veil or Perfect Veil. If this attack does not kill an enemy, places a Perfect Veil on this champion for 2 turns and fills their turn meter by 50%. Okay, I mean, sounds potentially really good. Block Revive is great. Depends on what the multipliers are, right? It's on a 3-turn cooldown. Yeah, I mean, like, Hunter's Gaze debuff is strong. So yeah, that sounds interesting. I would be interested to see what that does. Now we've got the Yauta Cloak. I have no idea how to pronounce that. At the start of each round, places a Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 1 turn. Okay, so they are self-buffing at the start of a round. Before this champion takes a turn, also has an initial 50% chance to evade an enemy skill and all of its accompanying effects. Holy smokes, 50%. Wow. This initial chance reduces to 0% after this champion's first turn around. So that's really powerful. They get a Perfect Veil and they get a 50% chance to evade. That's insane. Whenever this champion kills an enemy, grants this champion a 20% chance to evade enemy skills and accompanying effects, stacking up to 60%. Holy smokes, that could be legitimately broken. If you get this dude to kill somebody a couple times, suddenly he's evading every hit, 60% of the hits that you try to put on him or effects. And he has a chance to counterattack on those evasions. And I'm guessing this is probably a good hitting A1. That sounds pretty damn good, guys. That sounds like it could be really annoying to face in arena and really strong. So, okay. I mean, certainly an interesting kit. Again, looks sick. I'm definitely stoked to pick this guy up, but, like, very complicated kit. And that's it. That's it. That's the gist of it. That is everything. But man, this sounds pretty cool. I mean, look, I think this is a super cool collab from the perspective of what they're putting in the game. I have to see how the champions actually roll. And it doesn't seem like there's anything else beyond just the champions themselves. So this is kind of like a mini collab, as opposed to something larger like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that had, you know, stages and things like that. But overall, I mean, sounds kind of cool. I'm interested. I'll definitely be picking up this champion. I want to know if you guys will as well. Like, are you stoked about this collab? What do you think of the kits too? Let me know in the comments down below. I am cautiously optimistic about the kit of the Predator. That sounds like it could be genuinely really good for something like Arena. And then the Xenomorph could be, I think, better for PvE, although maybe usable in PvP as well with that infest debuff. The ability to, like, blow people up and do pure damage could be really good if you can get stone skin off of people. So yeah, super interesting. I am super stoked to check this out. But yeah, guys, just wanted to do a quick video. I normally never do news videos or announcements, but there's no way I could say no to doing this. I mean, like, come on, it's Alien vs Predator, right? You know what I mean? Like, you got to have a little Alien vs Predator video in your day. So let me know what you think of this collab. Also, let me know while you're down there in the comments, what collabs do you want to see? I feel like, again, Raid has been crushing collabs, especially these last 2 this year. So what do you think's next? I don't even know. I mean, probably my #1 collab in Raid would be something crazy like Dragon Ball Z, which would be absolutely insane. But hell, they did Ronda Rousey, so why not? Why not do Dragon Ball Z too? But that's me. I'm an anime fan. What can I say? All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all the fun stuff, hype the video, blah, blah, blah. And I can't wait to read the comments. As always, appreciate the support. I will catch y'all in a video soon. Big Papa Drock out.